Am I live? I guess I am. Hello, it's Superman Day. I am so excited about going to see Superman tonight with my wife. I am going to go see it on the IMAX. I was able to get tickets from a Prime deal. And I don't know about you, but for me, unless I'm sitting like in the middle of the theater, like in the middle section, I cannot watch a movie. I've got to be right in the middle, and so I'm at the in the back row at an IMAX tonight, watching the new Superman movie, and I'm pretty buzzed about it, pretty excited about it. So I wanted to quickly get on here and share my thoughts on what I know so far, what I think so far, what I hope so far. And then tomorrow, after I've seen the movie, I will give you my spoiler free reaction to the movie. So here's what I think. I think it's going to be a really good movie. I think James Gunn has proven himself to be able to create some great superhero stuff. I admire him that he's able to even take side characters that were not necessarily the primary characters or the ones that everybody knows or is familiar with and make them famous. Guardians of the Galaxy would be an example. For most of us, we probably have not heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie. And so the movie comes out. Now we all love it. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies. And so, I think he's done that with this movie as well. I think he's pulled in some characters that have never been seen on screen, others that maybe have been seen in TV shows, but none that have made it to the big screen yet. And so I'm excited to see what he does with that. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it's a great idea because if he had immediately tried to pull in Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Batman, I think it would have been too distracting. There's already some people that are Snyder fans and that there is no Superman but Cavill, and so they have a hard time of reimagining those characters this soon. They're still bitter and hurt about the Snyderverse disappearing. And so we'll see. We'll see what the new one is like with those side characters. I think he's going to do well with them. I think they're going to be fun. I think they're going to be interesting. Hopefully, the crypto dog is not a distraction, but we'll see. We'll see if he's actually a valuable asset to the movie or just a distraction. I'm not sure about it. I'm not 100% confident that it's going to be a good thing, but maybe it'll be a great thing. So that's James Gunn. That's my thoughts on James Gunn and what I think he might be bringing to the movie that might be interesting. Is he's just proven himself to be able to take some movies and make them interesting and not necessarily just be a typical superhero movie. So the actors, the actors, many of them are unknown. Some of them we have seen in TV and we've seen in movies. The Jimmy Olsen actor, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to remember many of the actors' names. But Jimmy Olsen, Green Lantern, we've seen them in other movies. Some of the other actors are less well known. Lex Luthor, of course, is a great actor, and I hate to mess up his name because do not know it right now off the top of my mind. And so Lex Luthor, we've seen him in quite a few movies. We've seen, like I said, Green Lantern. We've seen Jimmy Olsen. We've seen Perry White. We've seen those actors before, but the main characters, Superman and Lois Lane, we have not seen, and many of us are not familiar with them. And so I did a little looking around, checking them out, and from what I saw, I think these are probably going to be, and I'm going to call it now, the best Superman and the best Lois Lane that we've ever seen hit the big screen. I think they're going to be amazing. I think the character, the actors that they've chosen for it, I think they're going to be very natural feeling in those roles. From the Lois Lane actress, I've seen her. She seems like she was born to play Lois Lane. I think the same with the Superman actor. I think he was born to play Superman. Just based on some of the stuff that I've seen. So I think this is going to blow people's minds. This is going to become the new Superman, new Lois Lane, and the new standard. for anything that comes when they redo this in another 10 years or so. And so my feelings are that the actors are really going to nail this, every single one of them. I think the Jimmy Olsen actor is brilliant for this role, probably the best one we've ever seen. I think the Perry White, I think Lex Luthor has got a lot of people buzzing because he's a great actor. He's done a lot of work. He's got a great body of work, and so I think a lot of people are going to be very pleased with Lex Luthor. Myself, I am very much a Smallville guy. I liked Smallville. I thought it was a great show, and I love the character development. I love the development of Clark Kent. I love the development of Lex Luthor. And so I think this is almost a combination of that with maybe the Christopher Reeves, with maybe a little bit of Cavill in it as far as visually. So I think it's going to be amazing. Still not 100% on the costume. The costume is still a little bit of a distraction, especially with the underwear on the outside. But I think we are at a point, since we've been watching these superhero movies for the last 10 years, 20 years, I think we're going to be okay with it. I don't think it's going to be as much of a distraction as people might have thought it would be. I think we've seen so many different iterations of superheroes. I mean, we've seen characters like Thor that just seemed like it would be a joke to put them on the big screen. But it worked. It ended up working, and they evolved it. After they, if you remember the first Thor, they actually bleached his eyebrows. They didn't have him quite figured out. But they finally figured out Thor, and I think Thor Ragnarok was probably one of my favorite superhero movies that's ever come out. And so they finally nailed a silly character like Thor. And so I think after 20 years of superhero movies, I don't think we're going to have as much of a problem with Superman having his underwear on the outside. So I think the costuming is going to be fine. Here's another thing about the costuming that I really, really, really wish that they would do. I wish they would give a Lois Lane and Lex Luthor a signature look. That way people can cosplay them. Because right now you really can't cosplay Lex Luthor because there isn't anything, at least in movies and TV, that has given him an iconic look. Maybe there has been in comic books. I'm a fan. I'm not a geek. So I don't know what's in the comic book lore, what their costumes and all that is like. But I think there's an opportunity for James Gunn to create these iconic characters and give them a look, give them a costume that becomes the standard Lois Lane look, the Lex Luthor look. Where I'm sure he's got the bald head, great, but bald-headed villains are a dime a dozen, and so. I think that, a signature suit, a color combination, a just something about Lex Luthor to make him more iconic in movies would have been great. I haven't seen it in the trailers, so I don't know what that looks like. As well as Lois Lane, I wish they would give her a signature look, a costume, a vibe that if people wanted to cosplay them, they could do that. And so that's one thing I liked about the Chris Nolan Batman. Very iconic characters, very different, reimagining, and they became, great costume, great for cosplay. So that's the costumes. We'll see how they do. Mr. Terrific, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Very different kind of character. But from what I've been hearing, he's a scene stealer. So we'll see how that goes. And then finally, I want to talk about the amount of villains or the amount of big bads in the trailers. The trailers have, they're 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and they're flooded with all these characters and all these battles going on. Is that overwhelming? Is that too much? How is that going to play out in a 2-hour movie? It's a lot within a trailer. One villain after another goes from these fantastical monsters to Lex Luthor to these masked, people to these horde of clones or whatever they are around him. I mean, it seems like so many different villains are happening in this movie that I wonder if they're not able to. Hopefully, they're able to kind of consolidate it into at least one big plot, one big story, or one big thread. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching out for that they just haven't just thrown a bunch of cool stuff and interesting stuff, wild stuff into it, and it's just overwhelming with all these stimulus going on, and then you leave and you're like, but what was the story? Like, what was it really about? So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, those are my initial thoughts. I have pretty high expectations for this. Like I said, the actors seem to be probably the best actors in live action Superman ever, is what I'm seeing based on the trailers and from what I know of the actors. James Gunn has proven himself to be able to take these ensemble characters and create a great movie out of it. So we'll see. I'm pretty excited about it. I will give you my full unspoiler, no spoiler review tomorrow after I've actually got to see it tonight. And let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you want to just comment about what you think and what you expect when you go see it. Would love to hear your thoughts. And then hopefully this is giving you some stuff to think about. And hope you enjoyed it. But I am pumped. Superman. I've got the official logo t-shirt. Got the little swoosh happening on my head. That's natural, by the way. James Gunn, every other Superman maker ever. This is where the Superman thing comes from. It's from curly hair that gets messed up. It's not this, fake little curl that just appears after he's been flying 1,000 miles an hour and suddenly he's got this perfect little ringlet on his forehead. This is where it comes from. It's from curly hair just kind of falling down. And I think Henry Cavill nailed it. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you those that have liked it and reacted. But I'd love to hear your comments as well. And I am using a new app here called Ecamm. And so hopefully I know how to end this without it looking too awkward and weird. And so goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow.